Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Boyan Petreski. Today is April 20, 2022. This is the Nailing FX and Crypto session. The disclaimer is running there for your use and your protection. I'll be with you in just a second here. Here we go. All right, that's that. The disclaimer's run its course. Again, this is for educational and instructional purposes only. Trading inherently involves a risk, and of course, this is a demonstration. It does not indicate in any way the results you may receive on using our products. Let's go ahead and get started. This is the agenda for today. We will look at the current market environment. We're going to review some of the closed trades. We're going to manage any open positions, and we're going to execute on new opportunities. Let's go ahead and pull up our trusty screenshots here from last time and see what we got going for us. So we did have a couple of setups. Looks like we had 3 all in all. EURUSD daily, dollar franc daily, and the XMR 4 hour. So let's go ahead and start with the EURUSD. All right, so this is what our setup looked like. We were looking to go short on the EURUSD, and this was on the 6th of April. That was our entry point. Let's see if this triggered. We're going to go to the EURUSD. We're going to find our trusty line here, and we're going to notice that it most likely didn't trigger, which is okay. Let's go on the 55 and the daily. Okay, so that's from the 23rd. That was another trade. So this is the one that we were talking about. And unfortunately, even though it definitely moved in our direction after a while, after a lot of bouncing back and forth, moved in our direction, but did not quite fill us. Again, our entry was at 1.0130. So that means up there, 1.0130. Didn't quite make it there, of course, as we see, it was quite far from current price. But again, this was the daily time frame, so that did make sense at the time to look at. Since this one didn't fill, I'm going to go ahead and delete the vertical line because there was nothing else that we should have been doing there. So that's that for the euro dollar, meaning it did not fill. So we're going to I'm going to rename this setup to setup no fill, and I'm going to go ahead and save it into my folder here. Now the dollar franc, that was this trade here. We also had a previous trade on the dollar franc, so we took another shot at it. Let's see what happened with this one. We were looking to go long. Same thing on the daily time frame. So let's go to the dollar franc. Where is it? All right, so here's the dollar franc, and it looks like it did trigger. All right, so let's just see what happened here exactly. So I'm just going to roll it back to where we were looking at it. Okay. So this is where we were at the time. All right. We were looking to get in on this UFO right here at 93.011. Okay, so I'm sorry, on this UFO down here. We were looking to get in here on this lower UFO, not on the upper one, because that's the one that met the criteria with the moving average. That's right. Okay, so let's see what happened as we roll the tape. Okay, no fill yet. Took out that UFO. All right, so still no fill. All right, so this might have filled quite a bit later. But again, this was also on a daily time frame, so it would have been fine. All right, pushing down, pushing up, kind of dancing in between there. All right, this might be where it filled. I definitely saw the little arrows pointing out that it did fill, so, but maybe I'm wrong. There it is. Okay, so we definitely got filled here. All right, so we're gonna put a vertical right here, and then what we're gonna do is 1, 2, 3 candles in to see if we're gonna get our T1 or if this would have been a time stop. Our T1 was at 93,585 right there where the blue line is. So, okay, all right, 3 candles, so not much. Okay, so this was also a time stop. Could have been a small winner or a small loser depending on where you close this trade. So we're going to go ahead and put this at time stop, small winner / loser depending on execution. All right, that's that for this one. Okay, let's go ahead and analyze the next one, which was XMR. All right, so this is XMR. Just 1 second. Second. Okay. So we were looking to short this at 220.52. Let's open up XMR. All right, let me just kind of move this aside here so I can see. There we go. Going to crypto, and we have XMR. All right. And that's that. Now this was, I believe, on the 4-hour. Yep. So this is on the 4-hour with 21 minute. Okay. So let's go down to where this was, which was 6th of April. There we go. All right. It looks like we did have a fill as well. So let's just go right to here. All right. And we're also going to roll this back to where it was to make sure that we did get filled on a proper entry. So there it is. We would be on the second one out of typically 5. So that would be okay. So let's put this up here. All right. Our entry was at 220.52. Looks like this would have been the fill here. 220.52. So this would have been the fill right there. So let's go and pop that there. That's the fill. Now, if we also apply time stop on this, which I don't typically do on crypto. All right. T1 was at 215.88. 215.88 is down here, so it didn't quite make it. So this would have been a small winner if you took it with a time stop. Again, not following the set of rules that we have, we would not be putting a time stop on this. All right. Okay, so something interesting happened here. There was a new UFO that was just formed. I saw it and then it disappeared. There it is. So 220.98. So the stop would have been moved to here, 221. I think it was it 48 or is it 220, 248? I think it was 220, 248. Let's change that like that. So that our stop is already moved. All right. Okay, so it's doing a whole bunch of nothing. Okay, finally some directionality. There we go. Another one. Stop is moved again. 20. So 70, 72 would have been the stop now. Okay. All right. And we would have been stopped out for break even right there. Okay, bear with me for just 1 second, guys. I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, sorry about that. I'm back. All right, so this would have been we would have been stopped out here. Actually, I just realized something. We never got T1, so moving this probably wasn't the best of things. And there it goes. So let's see. 215.88 is where we would have been. Okay, so there is T1. Okay, so all right. Let me correct myself here. I just realized that I thought we already hit T1, but we didn't. This is when we hit T1. So that's T1 right there. And now our stop can be at 220.83. Okay, so now we're cooking. All right, so that's T1 right there. T1. Okay, so now we got T1. All right, moving a little bit lower. And there we go, we're out. Okay, so this was so we got T1 right there on this trade, and now our entry was at 220.52, and we got out at 220.86. So this was not the biggest winner, but not the smallest either. So we did make some money. So this is T1, and then stop on pullback, small winner. All right, so let's go ahead and save that. All right, so 2022. This was on 0407 XMR exit, small winner. All right, save that there, save that there. So we're good. Okay, so that's that for the trades for the last session. All right, so now I'm just going to ask if in the chat there's any requests to see any particular trades or not. Um, if there's any requests to see any particular instruments that you would like to see, either Forex or crypto, go ahead and type it up in the chat. If there isn't, I'm just going to start going through the majors and see where we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with Forex. First, let's go ahead and look at the majors. Dollar yen being the first one. All right, and we're going to just kind of go through the explanation on the daily time frame, which that's not going to be a good example. Neither is the 4 hour, neither is the hourly. All right, let's find a good example so it's easier to see, and then you can follow along. Jeez, everything's just so. Okay, here we go. Let's go on the 4 hour British pound. All right, so a couple of things that we're going to explain before we dive fully into just looking for trades and trying to execute. First things first, what do we need to have? We need to have a correct climate going in our favor. The climate is, of course, represented by the lower portion of this window here on this larger time frame, which is the 4 hour time frame. Right? The larger time frames, the common time frames as we call them, are the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily. So those are the three time frames that we call the common. These are the common time frames. All right, so we utilize those to give us the overall directionality, to give us the overall movement of the market. So we know that we're going with the crowd. Okay, we don't want to be going against the crowd. We want to be going with the crowd because that's where the volume is. All right, now these over here in the magenta color, these we call our edge timeframes. Okay, so these edge timeframes give us an edge. This is where we apply our entries and exits. This is where we apply our proprietary technology, the outer UFOs. This is where we utilize them to their maximum extent for both entries and exits. And they correspond according to their size. So the 8-minute goes with the hourly, the 21-minute goes with the 4 hour, and of course the 55-minute goes with the daily. All right, so that's how they correspond. Now, we know that this is the common time frame. What do we need to have? We need to have a confirmation on the climate on this larger time frame. All right, I'm just going to blow this up a little bit so it's easier to see. So as we see, we want to have a confirmation. How do we have a confirmation? Well, we see that right here we have a thick blue dot. We've had two in a row, and this STD, which is standard deviation up, there's a little arrow there, which is not really clearly shown right now, but now it will be. As you see, there's a little arrow there. Standard deviation up, 5. Standard deviation down, 6.3, which is 7. That's 5, and that is 7. So that means that this market typically goes up 4 hours. I'm sorry, 5 4-hour increments, and it goes down for 7 4-hour increments. Currently, it says we're on the fourth, but we're going to disregard this. It's not on the fourth, it's actually on the second, because as you see, there was an unconfirmed 4-hour increment there. So this is on the second, not on the fourth. We're going to discount the unconfirmed before that. The software has to count it because it's the same color. But again, this is because it has to count something. It can't skip a count. So, anyways, we know that we're not early. We know that we're not late to this climate. We're actually right on time, right? First or second is usually much better than like the fourth or fifth out of typically 4 or 5. So that means that we know that we're looking for the direction of of a long. We're looking for long opportunities. So where do we look for these opportunities? How do we get in? Where do we get out? That's the next step. For that next step, we actually, kind of marry these two time frames together by finding this 9 exponential moving average. As you see, this is the 9 EMA represented by this number here. Okay. We try to find the 9 moving average from the larger time frame being enveloped by a UFO on the edge time frame. Okay, and when I say enveloped, it means that it's contained within a UFO, which, as it happens to be, this is the case. I really wish we caught this, 25 minutes ago, because as you see, this already got tested and it's already moved up, and it's looking really nice. But it is what it is. It's still valid because the UFO is still there. All right. So that means that we know that we have a potential entry at this UFO. So let's go ahead and set up a trade and see how we would go about that. So we're going to buy it at 1.30342. And I'm going to, kind of tighten these up as I show you what the procedure is. I'm going to open it up right now. Because again, remember, Forex is a decentralized product. It does not have exact tick movements on across the board. Every liquidity provider is always going to vary a little bit. Depending on where you are, you may have a bigger spread, smaller spread. And this is something that, we've kind of put together. It's a very simple to follow instruction when buying or selling. So as you see here, whenever we're buying, we're going to take the entry, we're going to round it up, right? And we're going to add 2 pips for the entry. When the stop is going to be rounded down, we're going to take -5 pips for the stop. And for the target, the final target, we're going to round down and take the opposite common time frame, right? The bigger time frame, this one. Common time frame UFO minus 2 pips. All right. So we're going to take this and go ahead and apply it. So as we said, for the entry, we're going to round up. So this is 3.4. It's going to become 3.5. And we're going to add 2 more pips. So it's going to become 3.7. Right, now for the stop, we're going to do the same thing that we said on the little notepad there. So our stop is at 30230, right? This is the bottom of this UFO, 30230. So we have to go somewhere below it. So when we round it down, 30230 is just 3023. And when we take away 5 pips, right, we're looking at 18. Now the problem is with 18 is in the middle of this UFO now, right? 18 is right there. So that means we have to take this UFO as well. So let's go all the way down to 299966. Round it down to, well, no, that's too many nines. 29966. So we're going to round it down, becomes 96. And we're going to take away 5 pips, becomes 2991, 46 pips. T1 is also going to be 46 pips. Now, something else that I like about TradingView is the fact that it has a time and force so easily accessible right here. You don't have to, go hunting for it. So let's take a look at this. So we're on the second 4-hour increment. out of typically 5. That means, excuse me, that means we have 3.5 hours until this one closes, and another 3 4-hour increments. So we have a total of 15.5 hours from now for this to work to its maximum probability possible. So 15 hours from right now is tomorrow, the 21st, at at we're gonna put it at 9:30. Where is it? There we go. All right, and you can approximate obviously 6:30 to 9:30, so we should be good to go there. I'm gonna set this to expire at 9:30, meaning if this does not trigger by then, I'm not going to be interested in it. Oh, and of course we're going to be risking 150 bucks. All right, that's the risk, that's the reward for the first leg. So there's that. Okay, and as you see, that's our stop, that's our exit. Okay, I'm gonna put the vertical lines here so it's easy to find exactly where we were looking for it. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing. 1.30370. Now, this is just a disclaimer because I still haven't figured out how to make this work with TradingView properly. I'm going to add a 0.1 pip above for my second leg just so it doesn't cancel out, because it does that. I still don't know why. But everything else is going to be the same. All right, so 2991. And now for our final target, it's actually going to be the opposing common time frame UFO, which is 31,265. We're going to round it down, take away 2. So we're looking at 86.9 pips for this trade. Same thing for this one. Good till tomorrow 9:30. If it triggers, obviously we'll have to adjust it, because if it's running, it may take longer than just that many hours. So we don't want it to cancel out a trade that is profitable, right? We'd like to trail stop it, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the buy 150, 46.1. Okay, and buy. All right, so that's that. That's our setup. Last thing we do is we take a screenshot, and make sure to take a screenshot so it's easy to remember of what we're looking at, when and what at what time. So 2022 0420, and this is GBP USD for our setup. Boom, done. All right. So that's that for this one. Are there any questions that you guys would like to ask? If there's any questions, please feel free to type it in the chat. If not, I'm just gonna quickly just kind of share my link right here, which is tradewithufos.com/Boyan. Again, if you have any questions and you maybe don't want to ask them in the chat box right now, you're more than welcome to do so on the link down below. This link has all kinds of information on it. It has people that have asked questions. It has fellow traders sharing their experiences and so on, as well as links to the auto UFOs, auto climate, setting up a one-on-one session, and so on. So I'm going to take that away because it kind of hides an important part of the chart here. All right, so we got the first trade here set up for today. Let's continue forward and see if we have anything else. And that one's kind of far. Okay. That one's also at the point of extension. However, it's very close to current price. Even though that says it's the 10th, of course, remember, we have to subtract these 4 So we're really on the sixth down candle out of typically 6. So this still makes sense to take, and it has 7 hours to work, which is sometimes more than enough time. The question is, do we have a UFO that'll work? And as of right now, the way I'm seeing it, we do not. So we're going to skip on that. Hourly overextended. Aussie USD unconfirmed on the hourly. 4 hour is the fourth out of typically 7. Price isn't exactly really close to it. 74,075. So that would definitely meet the criteria of entry on this big UFO down here. Okay, so let's we can have exposure to 2 of them. It's not a problem. All right, so we would set this up at 0.73996. Of course, for entry purposes, we round this up. 74 is going to be 02. Take profit, stop loss, setups. So we're going to be, a stop loss is going to be at 0.73726. We round this down and take 5 more pips. So this will be 67. Sorry, it took me a second there. All right. Risking 150 as usual. And now time in force. So let's take a look at this. As I said, we're on the fourth up out of typically, and this is on the 4 hour as well, out of typically 7. So we have 3 4-hour increments, which is 12 hours, plus another 3 here, so about the same time as the other one. All right. So we're gonna say good till date. It's gonna be the 21st at 9:30. Set it. 150. Everything's all good. All right. Let's go ahead and buy that. Okay. Pop our horizontals here so we know exactly what we were looking at what point of time. Now let's put the other leg on. All right. So entry is at 0.74021. Again, just my workaround with TradingView deleting my T1s here. Take profit is going to be at 0.74394. Of course, we round this down at 90 and 9, and we take away 2. That's 7. And oh boy. Okay, we actually don't have a trade. We need to have a 1-to-1 plus. And as of right now, as you see, we barely have that because of this UFO here. Now, this UFO has been touched, but it's not the candle of fill. So for example, if we had some of the following happen, right? You see this UFO has gone into, you see that this price movement has penetrated this UFO. If the reaction was strong that it made the price come down to the entry, then we could have discarded this UFO, right? But it's not the candle of entry, therefore we do not have a trade. So let's go ahead and close that out, delete that, all right? Again, sometimes it takes a little bit of training to get this stuff, but it's always easy to just work for it step by step so that you don't make mistakes, because there's no point in making trades that, even if in the best case scenario you would work out with a 1-to-1. Okay, let's go to the EURUSD. All right. 4 out of typically 5, so that's not going to work for us. overextended on the daily, unconfirmed on the hourly. Dollar CAD taking a nosedive, overextended on the hourly, 4 out of typically 5 on the 4-hour, but so far from the moving average, there's no way it's going to work. Man, the CAD took a nosedive today. I think there was news today. Let me just see what happened here today. I know I saw that there were quite a bit of news, positive news. But here we are. Yeah, positive across the board for the CAD. And, a lot of, it's a big, sharp move. I mean, from 26 all the way down to 25, right? In a matter of what? Less than, I mean, it's this today. Yeah. Okay. So it's been a strong push down, eliminating this low here. All right. The Dixie is also pulling back a little bit, so that might give a boost to some of our longs here. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at some crypto. All right. Bitcoin overextended on the 4, somewhat extended on the hourly. BNB very close to being overextended on the hourly, overextended on the 4. Ethereum, similar scenario. XRP might give us a chance. Okay, unconfirmed on the hourly. First confirmation on the 4-hour. Already trading below the moving average. I would have said let's take this at market, but there's no UFO here. If there was a UFO here, then by all means take it by market. You got a better price fill, and then just put the stop below. But as you see, there is no UFO to take on this. Actually, I'm so sorry. Nope, is this the right one? 21 minute. Okay. Litecoin overextended. Okay, not overextended. 3rd hour up out of typically 5. Trading below the moving average. Let's see how it looks on the 8-minute. Okay. Obviously, even if there was a UFO here, it would have been filled. All right, Sol staying above the moving average here, but no UFOs. 21 minute. Okay, 21 minute might be looking a little more promising, but overextended. All right. Cardano overextended on the 4-hour. Hourly is right at the end of the climber, probably. Yep, 5 out of 6. And we have we have an hour and 20 minutes to make this work. And moving average at 95.80. It's not gonna quite make it to 95.50. All right, Axie. Hourly already shooting below the moving average. 4-hour touching on it right now, but no UFO in sight, and also overextended, so nothing to do. All right, let's look at Theta. Nothing there. Unconfirmed on the hourly on Decentraland. Actually, we looked at Sand. Nothing there either. This one's not going to do much for us. Link. Okay. Luna. Okay, AVAX. Trading below the moving average already. 4 out of typically 6. This would have been nice to get into, but we don't have a UFO. Let's check the 4-hour. overextended. All right. ZIL 7% up, even though most of them are a little bit down or pulling down. On the 4-hour, on the hourly, overextended as well. All right, ZEC touching that moving average perfectly. XMR third up on the 4-hour time frame. Out of 6, but currently trading below the moving average and no UFO in sight. KSM 4-hour, 1 hour, nothing there. Near. Okay. Just cycling through these to see if any one of them give us a confirmation on a climate. Given the fact that they're dropping pretty hard, would be most likely a takeable trade, but so far not getting lucky. BCH, see everybody's moving kind of in parallel. But not finding anything to go with. Okay, first confirmed up on GRT on the 4-hour, and moving average at 36,539. That's down below here, so nothing. There's no UFO here at 36. I'm sorry, wait a minute, what am I talking about? 36,537, 36,530. That's in here. All right, that's a takeable trade. This is the 4-hour. This is the 21 minute, so we're looking good. Let's go ahead and buy this at 0.36614. We may already be a little late on this. It may move. 0.36318. This one, we just take away 20 cents. So this is going to be 118 like this. All right. We're risking $150. And this will most likely resolve itself within a day. So let's do that. And that's that. Okay. Buy it again. Only this time it's going to be at 0.36615. So it doesn't cancel out the leg. The stop is going to be at 0.36118. And the final target will be at 0.39207. No, we're buying. I'm like, what? What do you mean? 36118, 39207 is the profit. Again, risking 150. And timer for it for the day. All right, there it is. Let's pop a vertical here. Pop a vertical here. And take a screenshot of this. So 2022 0420 GRT long setup. All right, there we go. Our first crypto trade of the day. Let's keep on going. Again, if there's any questions, any comments, anything you guys want to go over, please feel free to type it in the chat. Okay. Nothing filled yet. That's a steep drop. There we go. We do have a confirmed climate here on the hourly. Let's see how it looks on the 8-minute to see if we can maybe capture this to the downside. 674. Okay, yep, we do have a trade here. All right, so we're going to sell it at 38,452 is the entry point. And we're going to take a stop at 38,975. So when you add 20 cents, it's 9.95. T1 to 1, risking 150. And this one will give it, what's the typical, yeah, a day is fine for this too. Sell it again, 38.451. So it doesn't cancel my setup. And our final target is fairly close, 37,728. So 1.15 to 1. All right. This is what we looked at. This is what we looked at. Close that, save that, and screenshot. So 2022 0420. This is Zen short setup. Okay. Link we saw already. Tron. Unconfirmed. EOS. Overextended REN. Yeah, just kind of shuffling through these. To, see what we can find out here. If we can find something more. If not, I think we found quite a few trades. Okay. All right. Also a confirmed down here on ontology tether. 0.5375. That's in here. What I don't like about this one is that the moving average being 75, it's already here. 75 is already here. Right? So if this were, if price were to move up to here, this moving average might end up missing this UFO, and then it's not going to meet the criteria. And I'm certainly not going to, sit there and watch it to the T if it'll make it. So we'll skip on it. Unconfirmed on Dash. Unconfirmed even on the hourly. Okay. Matic unconfirmed. Overextended. Overextended. Unconfirmed. Okay. Overextended. Overextended. Internet computer. Okay. H bar. Nothing there. Raven coin. Not there. Okay, SXP confirmed down. Let's see what we have here for SXP. So first one out of typically 6. Moving average at 135.87. Okay, so these couple UFOs here may end up working if it retests them at 36.14. 36.13, 35.86. So that's about 30 ticks up. And currently it's at 33.50. Yeah, no. It can't go 30 ticks up with a 30 ticks up movement on the moving average, so we're going to skip on that. Okay, overextended, XLM, similar story, engine. Okay, confirmed climate on the hourly, but the nearest UFO is at 56.21. How's the 4-hour looking? It's looking like no opportunity. All right. Mana. Okay, Alice. Not much. Okay, RLC. Can't say I've ever traded this one. Okay. XEM. TRB. Blue Zell. Quantum. Okay, it's a little. Okay. Nope. That's kind of the life of a trader. You have to say no a lot more than you're going to say yes, because if you're saying yes too much, that means that maybe you are trading a little overly aggressively. And I mean, if you're making money that way, sure, then go for it. But if you're not, then maybe you need to be a little pickier with your trades. Okay. Whoa. Look at that. Since April 18th, it's been just running up, 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 up. One little pullback here. HNT first confirmed. Okay. And there are some UFOs here. 19,517. Okay, we do have a trade here. I'll take this short too at 19,456. Stop loss is going to be above that UFO. 19,687. Okay, risking 150 again. And for the day is fine. All right, I'll sell it again. 19,455. Stop loss stays the same at 687. However, our final profit target is non-existent, so we're just going to put it down here somewhere at 18.5. And we're going to put an alert. If it ever, takes out T1, add alert that it's crossing. Can't do an open-ended. Okay, that's fine. All right. That way we don't miss out on it just in case. All right, and that's kind of been that. I mean, this is the rinse and repeat method. You just have to keep going at it. And then once the hour passes, then you just go double check everything again and just manage the trades you have. All right. If there's any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. If not, we can go ahead and close the session out here. Of course, if you're not watching this live, if you're watching this recorded, please feel free to go to the link down below here tradewithufos.com/Boyan to go ahead and ask any questions that you may have so that I can get those answered for you. All right, now as we saw, we got several trades placed. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades that we placed. Take a look. Take them if you like them. If you don't like them, let me know why not, so we can discuss it further. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining me today. I will catch you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.